Hello guys and dolls, how are you? I hope you are well. So, I got rid of somebody today who was supposedly a friend. Y'all need to make sure you're not afraid to get rid of anyone, friend, spouse, child, your own child. If they're toxic to you, you may have to sever ties, because you don't have a connection with them anyway, and they're very disrespectful and they're poisonous. It may be the hardest decision you've ever made in your life, but you may have to do it. Go to therapy if you have to. Once you cut them off, go to therapy. I will cut off anybody. I don't care who you are. Okay? So with that being said, I knew this person for ever since the winter time, because we went out once and we agreed not to dress up, just dress casual, because it was real cold and nasty out. And so we went to a restaurant. We had a great time, but he was too dumb to realize that I should probably punch in my phone where this person's located before I make a drive 2 hours away, and then realize after I drive 2 hours I don't want to do that no more, because that's a 2 hour drive. Well, you didn't know that when you're supposed to be technical dude, computer wizard, phone wizard, and you didn't have enough common sense to look that up. So, well, he actually did me a favor that we didn't work out, because I would have fired him if we were in a relationship. So let me give you some backstory so you have an idea of what exactly is the dynamics going on. So basically, his mother was icy cold. Icy cold, okay? Yeah, she was ice cold. He grew up in Detroit, and if you remember the movie Boys in the Hood, you will remember that there were helicopters flying around all hours of the night looking for suspects, and dead bodies, people getting shot left and right. There's all kind of wars going on the street. You shot my boy, I'm gonna come after you. Our boys are gonna come over there and shoot you, and all this other business. Well, that's how he grew up. That's exactly the depiction of what he dealt with growing up. So his mother raised him by herself. I can't remember what the circumstances were. I think they got a divorce. She was a drill sergeant to him. Let's call him Paul. The mother was a drill sergeant. You are going to get educated. You are going to, make something of yourself. You are not going to be a drug dealer. You are not going to be a gang member. And she harped on him, and she rode him hard to be a good person. And that's all well and good, but no matter how strict you are, and she was the equivalent of a drill sergeant. Let's just keep it real. She was a damn drill sergeant. So she was a professional singer, okay? She was in a singing troupe. You have dance troupes, and then you have groups that are professional singers. She was a professional opera singer. And yes, they're people of color, so you don't see too many people of color in that area of expertise. So, because she was a professional singer, she practiced every day. So he got to hear her singing every single day. And I do feel that because she was so strict on him, because she was so icy cold, between the two of those, and the practicing and the singing, and him getting sick and tired of hearing her practice all the time, he developed resentment and anger towards her. I'm tired of hearing that vocal warm up every single day. I'm so tired of it. The drill sergeant routine should not be happening if it is not balanced with love. Okay? You can be strict, you can be a disciplinarian, but you don't have to be extremely hateful with it. You're going to do what I said. There is no need to be nasty, hostile, and a drill sergeant. There has to be a balance in life. Okay? You should not be all of one thing or all of another. You should try to balance the two. Get your ass in there and get your homework done. Give me a hug before you go. I love you. Mwah. Now get out of here. You know, if that's the best you could do, the kid will probably take it, because that's better than nothing. So he developed anger and resentment towards women. When he was in college, he was a hoe. There ain't no nice way to put it. He was a hoe. Okay? He wasn't connected to women at all. His hormones were beating him upside his head. And so he decided to sleep with as many women as possible, to empty his walnuts as often as he possibly could. He didn't have a connection to any of them. He was just emptying inside of them. So he's hypersensitive to women being resentful of being used sexually and to be treated like crap. He's hypersensitive to that because he used to do that. So this is an autopsy of a so-called personality. This is the autopsy of his childhood, autopsy of how he treated people, and how the way his mother treated him set him up for failure in regards to relationships with women. Now, he has, okay, let me, the reason I mentioned about the singing is because he had resentment towards that too. He had resentment towards that because I remember showing him a video. I sent him a text and it was a guy singing, and let me tell you, okay, his voice is unbelievably good. Unbelievable how much talent this young man has. And so I sent it. It sent chills, you know, his voice sent chills down my spine. Well, I sent the video to Paul. And instead of saying most normal people that their ears work, even if you're not into singing, you still could hear this person and know that they're talented. You don't even have to like the genre of music that they were into, but you can still appreciate his riffs and runs, his ability to hold a note, the range in his tone. You can appreciate all of that. Not Paul, because Mommy was a singer. Mommy was a professional singer, and he can't stand Mommy because Mommy was always breaking her foot off in his butt. So he's got anger and resentment. There was never any balance. So, and probably not that much love anyway. He wouldn't know love if it blew up in his face like a pipe bomb. He wouldn't know. He'd just be clueless. So I had sent him the video of this person singing. First thing out of his mouth when he texted me back, and he's going to text you when he feels like texting you back, he says, why is he singing somebody else's song? Why couldn't he sing something original? I'm painting a backstory so you know what type of individual this person is. I used to pursue acting, okay? And I've watched a lot of professional, talented shows, and one thing that any judge will tell you, if you sing an original song, you are taking a chance. They don't know if you're singing it correctly because they've never heard that song before. I have heard professional judges say that. Oh, you're doing an original song that you wrote? Okay. And that's the tone, and that's the look on their face, like, you're taking a chance, but go right ahead. And if the song is really, really, really good, they'll be like, well, hey, that was great. But it kind of sits funny with them because they've never heard it. So they don't know if you're singing it correctly. They've never heard it before. And they can't relate to it because they've never heard it before. But this fool, instead of saying, oh, he's got a voice that's not playing around. Oh, he should sing his own song. I said he put his own original spin on it. What are you talking about? But do you see what I'm saying? Like, there's this negativity, and he's got this animosity towards singers, animosity towards his mother, and that starts to not only be a poison, but it's like a liquid poison. it starts to, and this is true for other narcissists, and yes, I do believe he's a narcissist as well. It's like liquid. Liquid goes to the point of least resistance. So it will pour into every crack and crevice of your life. Your friendships, if you have any friends, relationships. He had resentment towards his mother, but he also felt obligated to her, even though she treated him so badly. She had good intentions, but she never showed him any love and kindness. She was always breaking her foot off in his ass. There was never any give me a kiss before you go to bed. There was none of that. All right? So, avoidant personality is something, in addition to narcissists, is what I'm kind of leaning towards with this. Avoidants really need the attention, but they can't connect to people. They can't. They need to connect, but they can't. So I was really shocked when he told me that whenever she died, or I mean not died, excuse me, I'm sorry. Having a blonde moment. Whenever she was sick, he took her in his home. But if you look at certain disorders, depending on the disorder, they chase after people that don't want nothing to do with them. They chase after people who treated them horribly. They chase after people who, and they open up their home and they go over, above and beyond for people who do not respect them. But if you show them kindness and you show them respect, because I lost somebody recently because of this. This must be a late spring cleaning, I guess. I don't know. Bye, girl, bye. Bye, dude, bye. I don't have time for this shit. Anyway, what happened was, I noticed over a span of months, and I almost got rid of him months ago, truth be told, because something about him just didn't sit right with me. I don't know if y'all have ever been through this before, but he is what I call conversations police. Let me backtrack. I hate when I backtrack, but I'm sorry, I have to for a second. He also has a track record of, he has a daughter with a woman. She don't have nothing to do with him. The ex-wife ain't got nothing to do with him. He's got 4 failed marriages. 4 failed marriages. The friendship, so-called friendship that he has with his friend, Danny, is volatile at best. They cuss each other out on the regular under the guise of love. What are you doing, MFer? Nothing, you piece of shit. Oh, well, you know, I wish you were dead. Well, you couldn't die fast enough as far as I'm concerned, you ugly bastard. This is how they talk to each other on a regular, everyday basis. Which is perfect for Paul, because Paul can't handle when you're like, hey, I haven't heard from you in a while. You doing okay? It's good to hear your voice, man. He can't handle that. He needs you to call him an MFer. He needs you to tell him, you know, when my biggest fantasy is to see you get hit by an Amtrak train and watch your guts fly all over the tracks. That's what he connects to. And I'm not kidding. He doesn't say nice words to him. And he doesn't say nice words to him either. They just don't. I understand verbally sparring sometimes, but every single time you talk to each other, cussing each other out under the pretense of love, there's no respect there. Joking around is one thing. We all have said things to our friends like, I don't know what your problem is, or I don't know who peed in your Cheerios, but you need to pull it together. But so far as hurting somebody's feelings every day, and you have a long list of names that you call this person, you never run out of insults, that's not a connection. That's abuse. I don't care if you both agree to it. Both of y'all got problems. But again, this is the type of shit that he connects to. Can't connect to 4 failed marriages? Come on. Who's the common denominator here? Right. All right. So we've talked about all kinds of things. I'm passionate about psychology. I'm passionate about talking about relationships. I'm passionate about educating people on narcissism, because there's narcissists all over the place. Okay, what do you think high-powered people are? You know, presidents and vice presidents, vice presidents of companies. What are they? 9 times out of 10, they're ruthless, they're cutthroat, And they're narcissistic. They love the power. They love the fact that their customers or their clients can't function without them. It feeds them. It gives them never-ending supply. I'm sure there's some people that aren't like that, but I think they're few and far in between. So he's a conversations police. That's what type of narcissist, he is. Grandiose, will go above and beyond for himself. He bought something for his precious motorcycle that was $600, another thing that was $800, another thing that was almost $1,000. I mean, he would go way above and beyond for himself, but he's not going to go way above and beyond for anyone else. And if you need to purge this topic out of your system, or you want to talk about it, or you just want to have a grown-up conversation, if he's not in the mood to hear it, these are the excuses he gives. Okay, are you ready? And it's all about control. It's not even about the topic. It's about control. I'm not stupid. He'll say, I'm tired. I'm too tired to hear that right now. You're getting too deep for me. Or you're getting too technical for me. Or those are as usual. Or I've had a bad day. I can't handle that kind of conversation right now. All of those are lame. Every single one of those is lame as hell. Okay? But that's how he is. He's going to dominate what you say, how you say it. If I've heard this topic 10 times prior, I'm not trying to hear even a hint of this topic now, because I'm going to start whipping out my excuses. So this is about control. I control what you talk about and how often you talk about it. Nobody is going to control me except God. He's the only one that's going to say, look here. You cussed the lady out at Sprint. You need to take your ass back over there. And I don't know if God would cuss or not, but you need to take your little behind over there and you need to apologize. And yes, that did happen. I was out of line. I was rageful. I was sick and tired of the company politics, and I went berserk. And then 2 weeks later, I had to apologize because God put his foot on my neck and said, you were out of line. Get your behind over there and apologize. And I pull out my excuses and reasons why I can't do it. But I ended up doing it because I was wrong. The people that work there do not create those rules and regulations. So you're snapping on them, and they didn't choose that idiocy. That was the company that chose that. Anyway, so he ain't trying to hear certain topics if he's not in the mood. Even if I say something like, oh, another thing, let me backtrack. Another thing that they'll do is they'll count how many times you've mentioned this. We talked about this before. I mean, you brought this up in several conversations. I don't care if I brought it up every 5 minutes every single day. So what? That's my prerogative. If you supposedly a friend, which he has no ability to be a friend to anyone, then you would just roll with it. And you would contribute something positive to the conversation. Or have empathy or understanding. I know. We've talked about this before, and I know that has to be frustrating. That has to be nerve-wracking. Because I know it's bothering you because you mentioned this before. So I know it's really, really bothering you. That's what a normal person would say. They wouldn't say, oh, you're not allowed to have that conversation. I choose what you talk about. And I remember he went off on me. What happened was I said, I was going to the river. Well, I went to the river, yesterday. And, it pisses me off that I've been trying to find people to go with, so-called guys on a dating site, and the only place they want to take you to is the bedroom. Well, that triggered him. That was a trigger because that's what he used to do with women. And in his little macho mind, there ain't nothing wrong with that. You emptying them and you dismiss them. It's just that simple. So I'm not trying to hear your whining about it. And so he basically went off on me. We've talked about this before. You're bringing it up again. It's too technical. That's too technical. And then remember, that's one of his excuses. That's too technical. I said, technical? What are you talking about? And he said, I'm trying to be nice about it. I said, because I'm going to get sarcastic, I said, well, we could talk about the sky and how fluffy the clouds are if you prefer. And I don't even remember what gibberish came out of his mouth at that point. But he was just like, basically dropping the hammer on me because he was tired of hearing that conversation. So I said, have a good day. Have a nice day. Have a nice day. And I hung up in his face. and he is permanently done. We are done. I will never speak to him again. He has lost 2 people, 2 of his women, so-called friends. He's lost 2 of them, myself and another young lady, within a span of a few months. In a span of a few months. She hung up in his face because of what he said to her, and I hung up in his face because of what he said to me. When you look at his track record of how he talks to people, my nose is itchy. You can see that he is the common denominator. He's the common problem. Your daughter doesn't like you. Your ex-wife doesn't like you. You've got 4 failed marriages. Not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4. Okay, Elizabeth Taylor. You know, you are the common denominator. He was with one lady back in the day, and she's a fool because I never would have did it. You understand me? I never would have done it. She had a dog. He doesn't like dogs. He's a cat person because he's cold-blooded. He got a male cat because he gets his affection from a male cat. People say that, and he has said that male cats are more affectionate. Women, female cats, I should say, are very not. They kind of sit in the window and kind of preen themselves and look at you like, okay? And male cats follow you around the room, follow you around the house. They're talkative to you when you first come home and all this. And he gets his attention and his supply from his cat. He does not date. And if you are not 10 to 15 minutes away, a lot of people are like this. If you're not 10 to 15 minutes away from his house and he can't call you up and get some ass that same night, you're too far for him. Wait, she worked me a favor because look at how he ended up behaving and look at how I had to fire him. You don't tell me what to talk about. That, you know what? Look here. I am sick and damn tired. A little bit of a rant. I am sick and tired of people thinking that I have a right to control you. How you walk, how you talk, what you say, how you say it, how often you bring it up. I am the dictator and I rule you. Really? Okay, well, I'm the second, like I said, I'm the second person who dumped you in a span of a couple of months. It's time for you to look in the mirror. It's time for your dumb ass to look in the mirror. He's damaged by his mother. The damage is permanent. He will never change. And in order to prevent himself from spazzing out because he doesn't have supply from women, he deliberately keeps himself busy doing projects around the house. Project after project after project after project. He keeps his cup so full that by the end of the day, he just falls in bed and he doesn't remember that he's lonely and he doesn't remember how he can't sustain a relationship. He just keeps his cup full to the brim. Well, what I was going to say about that lady with the dog, she had a dog. He's a cat person. Anyway, they moved in together. Why she moved in with him, I have no goddamn clue. But she moved in with him, and that was a mistake. He didn't like her dog because he don't like dogs, period. If you don't like something, you better stop doing it. You heard? Yeah, hold your breath and wait for that to happen. Anyway, he had her move in, but made her keep her dog in the garage. Made her keep her dog in the garage. Look at my face. Do you honestly think that I would allow some fool to tell me that my animal cannot be in the house? He has to be in the garage. You think I'm going to put up with that? Now, come on. Y'all been knowing me. Some of y'all been knowing me for years. You know better than that. Okay? As soon as I find out you don't even like animals or you don't like a specific type and I have that type of animal, we're done. We will never get to the point of me moving in with you. You must be out of your damn tree. So, anyway, he got fired. And I feel relief about it because I've almost fired him before. Okay? For the same reason. And what he did today was really out of the ordinary. He always tries to be phone police, conversation police. But today he was over talking me. He was raising his voice louder and louder and louder because he was deliberately washing my voice out. I ain't tolerating that off of no goddamn body. Period. I really don't know who the hell these motherfuckers think they are. Who do they think they are? Who do you think you're talking to like that? Who in the hell do you think you're talking to like that? And he knows I don't play, and he still does it. And today he took it too goddamn far. So that was it. You're fired. Now, I block you. You still have the ability to call me and leave me a message, and I can pick and choose if I want to listen to your message or not. And if I can't stand your ass, which is why you're blocked, by the way, I won't listen to your message. I will delete it. There's no way that you could get in touch with me where I have to respond to you. Absolutely no way. So don't waste your time. Go kiss your cat, because that's the only one you get along with. And he don't care if you abuse him or not, as long as you feed and water him. If you ignore him or tell him off, he don't really care. As long as he has a clean litter box, food and water, he's good. So you better stick with the cat and leave human beings alone. Anyway, so my moral of the story is, don't be afraid to get rid of people. I don't care how many months you have been friends with them, how many seasons, how many days, years, months, or whatever. I don't care how long your so-called connection has been with them. If you get to the point where you're like, you know what, the more I think about this individual, the more I realize that I am so disrespected by them. So disrespectful. And then you go yell at me on top of that and override my voice? Oh, hell no. Oh, God. Hell no. Let me tell you what his mother did. She got suckered by some individual she met online. She was extremely lonely. Now, here's the thing that I find fascinating about that. She was extremely lonely, but when she was younger, she thought she was the baddest thing that ever walked, and ain't nobody gonna mess with her, and she gonna put her foot in her son's ass, and I'm gonna control you with an iron fist. Well, you controlled him and damaged him also, permanently damaged him, so good job. But also, she had no control over her personal life. Because if you were as badass with this guy that scammed you online, if you were as badass with your son as you were with this scammer, you wouldn't have gave him $20-something thousand. $20,000. Miss Badass. A lot of people who are not right up here, they try to control everything around them, but if you look real closely, you will see that they can't even control their own life. You think I'm going to get scammed out of $20-something thousand? I'm not going to get scammed out of $1.50. Not going to happen, because I'm not dumb like her. And I told him, that was another thing that he was overriding me on. I said, I'm not going to do that. Women get caught up in that because they're lonely and they're desperate and they think that they love this person. I don't need nobody to love me. I never had it before. Why start now? So I'm getting a little warm. I know y'all are not surprised by that. But I don't need you to love me. You know, I love me, so I'm good. But she couldn't control her own life. And he was like, oh, well, I'm just telling you, you got to be careful with people online and this and that and you know, da-da-da-da-da, and people will scam you. I said, they won't scam you if you're not lonely. They won't scam you if you're smart. They won't scam you if you're not desperate. If you're vulnerable and desperate and lonely, that is a recipe for disaster. And he raised his voice, overtalked me again, and then said, well, my mom got scammed and da-da-da-da-da, so I know anybody can be scammed. Right, because she's Miss Perfectionist of the United States, right? She was an idiot. She got scammed because she was naive. If you the baddest thing that walked, you wouldn't tolerate that off of somebody. You don't have to get mean and hateful, but you could say, you know, I thought you were honest. I thought you were a good person. You turned out to be a liar and a scam artist. Lose my number. Get out of my face. And then you block them. Period. And you don't fall in love with somebody, quotation marks, love with somebody you never even met. You never even laid eyes on this person. So there were tons of mistakes that she made. I'm not making those mistakes. I'm not vulnerable. I'm not desperate. And I'm not lonely. So there goes that. But he assumed that all women are dumb because his mother got caught up in that. I'm not saying that anybody who got scammed is dumb. She was dumb because she was vulnerable. She hasn't been with a man since dinosaurs roamed, and it makes you act out of character. But because she was so cocky and so arrogant, I don't have any respect for the fact that she got scammed, and I don't feel sorry for her. Like I said, you're supposed to be the baddest thing that ever walked. You never should have got caught up in that. The first time the person said, I need X amount of dollars, you should have said, oh, hell no, and you're out of here. And you don't fall in love with people you never met. Come on. You got to use that. Now, if she was a good person and she didn't damage someone permanently, I might have a lot more concern and a lot more love towards her. But when you're hateful and you damaged your kid and I had to deal with him because of what you did, no, I don't feel sorry for you. Not at all. Anyway, so I'm doing spring cleaning or beginning of the summer cleaning, whatever time of year it is, and I'm getting rid of people. So I don't give a shit, and I wasn't getting what I wanted. That's another thing that y'all need to do. If you're not getting what you want from this person, because he's another one that I asked, can you come to the river? Would you like to go kayaking? Oh, my hip. I got pain with my hip, my ass. He was bragging he had multiple surgeries, 6 surgeries or 5 surgeries on his hips because of playing football, or so he claims. I don't know. Maybe his mother beat him with a baseball bat in his hips. I don't freaking know. But whatever. He's had all these surgeries, and he was bragging about, oh, I did great, and the physical therapist said she's so impressed with my progress, and he just went on this grandiosity and this self-entitlement and this, this peacocking that he did. And I'm healing in leaps and bounds. But when you ask him to do something that you want him to do, he can't do it. Oh, I don't know about that. I'm still healing. Remember I had surgery. Wait a minute, that's not what you were saying before. You were bragging about, you were making, you were doing so well, you were just doing phenomenally well. Your physical therapist almost passed out because she was so excited at how well you did. Now all of a sudden, you can't sit in a relaxed position in a kayak. And I told him, I said, we would take a lot of breaks. But you could stretch your legs out. You could do some stretching on the gravel bars because there's some sand, but it's mostly gravel bars. So you need to wear dive shoes that have a nice pair of dive shoes, not just any dive shoes. You need nice quality, like from a sporting goods shop, which is what I ended up doing. But all of a sudden I'm not going to take that kind of chance with my hip. Because he wasn't going to go out of his way to do anything he doesn't want to do. Period. I don't care what anyone's excuse is. I don't care what their reasoning is. The real reason is because they're not going to do what they don't want to do. They're not going to go above and beyond if it's not going to benefit them. Okay? So, and I remember before I got rid of him, obviously, I remember saying, when am I going to see you again? Because I saw him, in the winter. Oh, I don't know. That's actually good, because I don't need to see him again and think that we've got a solid friendship, and we really don't, because he is twisted by his mother. Another sick bastard. Color me shocked. Not. I'm not saying women aren't sick too. They are extremely sick. Some of them are extremely sick, but I don't date women, so... But I have told you all many times that mental illness is not gender specific. Women can do even more damage. Get, pregnant by your best friend and tell you it's yours. Meanwhile, the kid comes out looking Mexican, she's white and you're white. The kid looks like they're Mexican. Okay, something went sideways somewhere possibly. So yeah, they can cause even more damage. Take your kids from you, you'll never see them again. Come on. It's not gender specific. So anyway, I'm doing laundry. I got a bunch of laundry to do. Color me excited. Not really. And don't be afraid to get rid of so-called friends. If they're treating you in a disrespectful manner, they're not your friend. Got that? They are not your friend. I'm going to tell you something really interesting. If you look at my eyes change color. If you look at my eyes, they look almost like a bluish gray. My eyes, this is my natural eye color. And no, they're not bluish. Well, I can't say that. They change color. The first time I got wind of that, they're normally hazel. They're like a golden brown with green in there. And the older I get, the more green they become, which is wild. But depending on the lighting, they appear to be blue or they appear to be gray. That's crazy. I got hip to that because I was having a surgery. I know, shockerini. I was having a surgery. And I was laying on the bed. I'm talking to the nurse and I'm waiting to have surgery. And she's asking me all these questions they have to ask you. Blah, 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 blah. And I guess I was laying this way on my right side, which is going to look like your left or something. I don't know. The camera reverses it. You know how that works. But I'm laying like this. And I guess the way the light hit this eye, my right eye, it looked like the blue came out. It appeared blue. And she goes, in the middle of talking, she goes, "Are your eyes blue?" I said, "No." My eyes change color depending on the lighting, which is weird. Very, very weird. Anyway, interesting little tidbit. I'm also getting more freckles as I get older, which is like wild. Like God took a Sharpie and went doink, 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 doink. You know, it's like really crazy. So anyway, y'all take care. Don't be afraid to get rid of anybody. I don't care who the hell they are. If they are bringing toxic to your life, toxins and carcinogens, which are cancer-causing drama, get rid of them. I don't care if you've known them for 45 years. Fire them. Okay? And like I said, you're not only abusive, you're over-talking me. You never give me what I want. The abuse alone is enough to get fired. And then when I look back and realize that anything and everything that I've ever asked you for, you will not do, and you have a whole list of excuses and reasons, I tell you what, you don't ever have to worry about it again. Okay, Mr. Failed Marriages? Did I go there? Yes, I did. Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. Anyway, y'all be cool. I'll talk to you later. Much love. Bye-bye.